Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, October 28th. We are looking at window traders. Market profile of the S&SPY. We have a tremendous amount to get to today. We'll be going over what transpired this week, today. We'll look at all the charts for our three indices. Incredibly impressive day by the bulls today. It was basically a fire that had gasoline thrown on it, right? I remember, what was that movie, that fireman movie, Backdraft? Well, that's what happened to the market today. When Amazon reported last night and the world jumped on to the short side, all it did was add more gasoline and more fuel to the fire. When once Apple came out, did okay, and then remember, the market basically shrugged off what happened with Microsoft, Google, and Facebook. Now, it doesn't shrug off the individual stock, but the market as a whole, right, especially the S&P, has been trying to go higher, okay? When you see the charts, there's big differences here. The weekly is up now in SPY and ES, right? NQ and triple Qs are still in balance on the weekly and balance on the daily. So, again, we can't just look at those and say, well, we shouldn't go higher or vice versa. Trade what we're trading in front of us. I said early in the week, I said, I think this market wants to grind higher into Fed week. I said, yes, there's huge tech earnings, but unless they're completely disastrous, this market is going to go higher. Well, they almost were completely disastrous, and we still went higher, right? 4 out of 5 of them were horrible. Okay, Apple did great, but I'm not going to say Apple just came in and saved the universe. Okay, I know Apple's a big part of the market and everything else, and it was up 7.5% today. But it's one company. No matter what you think, it's still one company, right? I mean, on the flip side, Amazon was down what today? Amazon was down 7%. So think about it. They canceled each other out, and the NASDAQ was up almost 3%. So as big as they are not the whole stock market. I know they have huge weigh-ins and everything else, but that's why it's so important. This market did nothing but go up, balance, the entire day. And you had a backdraft of jet fuel thrown on a fire. And boy, oh boy, I can't imagine how many people got burned so badly today. So badly. You know, the goal of my room is first and foremost to educate traders what we're looking at and what's happening and to stay out of trouble. I hope if you're in other trading rooms or you're looking for a trading room, that's their number one goal. Because if their number one goal is just their P&L and that's all they give a rat's ass about, you're going to get burned because they're not going to be teaching you the right way. So let's go over. I had a good day. I didn't do much again in the afternoon. Again, I can call a market. Calling a market, I'll give myself a 90. I'll never give myself 100. Executing the market at times, I'll give myself at best a 75. Because again, this is a day where I had a very good day, but should have really crushed it. But I didn't. But again, that's knowing myself also. I have no problem with that. And even with that stupid trade on Wednesday, that one bad trade, I ended up having a pretty good week. So what did I do? I actually took a short the first trade of the day in A against the afternoon rally high because it had a pit stop there, H's high from yesterday. And I got paid 3 points on it. I knew this market, once this started open and we couldn't take out yesterday's low and couldn't get that wide POC, you knew the shorts were in trouble. But I figured the first time they'd get a pit stop there. And they did. That was the only short of the morning. I then long B. It was the ebb and flow trade all day for the most part. I did it in B to pop the top and then on ebb and flow. I did it in C because we had a trend day. I did it in D at least 3 times in D. All right, I did it in E, right? Even when I did it in E before we stopped the one-time framing up, but when E even pulled back, I said, I want to get long. I was looking, in fact, I had a bid in. I don't know what E's low was. I missed my long in E on the pullback by, I think 2 ticks, if I'm not mistaken. I was waiting for it to get, I think, maybe to C's high. I forgot what it was, but I didn't get it again. Then I didn't do anything in F. That's usually my next little lunch period. I actually, believe it or not, shorted I at 98 because we were having trouble getting through 3,900 and above our balance high. Only took a couple of points out of it. Probably could have taken 5 points out of it if I had a little patience. Actually more, because Jay came back. Jay didn't pull back anywhere where I wanted. I thought we'd get more of a pullback. I was looking to get long between F's high and G's low, right in here. Never pulled back. Didn't take it. Again, I'm like, I don't care. If that's all they're going to give me, that's all they give me. And then K, L, and M just grinded, and I'm horrible with those, and I didn't do anything. But I had a good day, and I actually ended up having a pretty good week. So no complaints overall. Now, let's get to destinations. Please write these down. It takes a lot of time out of the videos, and it takes a lot out of me. So write them down, because I won't repeat them on Monday or going forward if they stay. Today's high is now a weekly high. Now, we have 1 day left in the trading month. It's actually a monthly high as of right now, but we still have Monday. 389.52. Above that, 394.54, afternoon rally high from September 15th, 395.96 daily high, and 396.20 daily high. For the downside, I'm not using L's high again because, again, when we probe, I want minimum 50 cents or more. We didn't get there, so it's not that important. We have 4 sets of single prints. We have four distributions. A is one distribution. Then we had single prints B, C. The second distribution is E's low to D's high. The third distribution is G's low to I and J's high. And the fourth distribution is L's low to the day's high. We had 4 distributions. Triple Q's had 1, 2. They did have a single print here in G that you can't see. They had a triple distribution. And Russell had looks like only a double distribution. I think they only held F's. So they had a double. We all probed, though. So, again, for our downside in SPY, we have 388.20 to 08, first set of singles. Then we have our afternoon pullback low of J, 387.21. Next set of singles, 386.43 to 29. Next one, 384.84 to 37. And the last one is 383.77 to 36. And today's low of 379.67. Okay? ES, upside, 16.50 is a weekly high. 25.25 is a weekly high. And right now, a monthly high. And above that is 63.50, afternoon rally high from the 15th of September. And 77.50 daily high. For the downside, sharpen up those pencils. Here we go. Single prints 03.75 to 02. Second thing is the afternoon pullback low, 92.75. Single prints 85 to 83.50. Singles 69 to 64 and a quarter. Singles 58 and a quarter to 54. 16.50 is today's daily low. Let's go to the charts. We're going to start with the little engine that could or can't sometimes, right? Russell. Russell on the monthly is balance, okay? We've blown back and forth through that 173.39 level a bunch of times. Well, right now we're above it by almost $10. Doesn't mean anything just yet. We are in balance on the monthly, 6 months. The top of the balance on the monthly is 201.99. The bottom of it is 162.50, this month's low. Okay? So we're still in balance on the monthly on IWM. Weekly, up. One time framing up for 2 weeks as we blew through. Again, their weekly balance was basically 181.10. So they're up now on the weekly. And the daily, now, I forgot. They had an outside day up today. They took out yesterday's low, believe it or not, by pennies, 13 cents. Now, I wasn't looking at it, whether it was a clear look below and fail. It probably was, since they only took it out by 13 cents. So they have an outside day up. But since they took out yesterday's low, to me, it's still balanced. So does that make sense? We took out yesterday's low. It's balanced. We had an inside day down for 13 cents, and then we had an inside day up for $1.40. So the daily is balanced but it is an outside day up. So monthly is balance, weekly is up, daily is balance, outside day up. That's on IWM. Triple Qs, monthly, down. That hasn't changed. Monthly's down. To come back into balance, we got to take out October's high next month. Weekly. Now the weekly, this week was their balance high. Different from SPY. Now, did they take out the balance high? They did. However, only by 42 cents. So for my money's worth, I'm going to call the weekly balance in Qs, even though it's one time framing up. Let the buyers prove it to us. Let them shake off those bad earnings, except for Apple, and now take out this week's high next week, and then the daily would be up. So right now, the daily, I apologize, the weekly. Then the weekly would be up. So the weekly right now is balanced, and the daily is also balanced. It's a 5-day balance this entire week, okay? Tuesday's high is the top of the balance, and is it today's low, 272.06? Nope, Monday's low of 271.97 is the bottom of the balance. We stayed above the 20. They traded back and forth through it for 4 days. Even with these bad tech earnings this week, look what we did. We bounced off the 20 Thursday and Friday, and now the 50 is up above us at 286.39. So in triple Qs, monthly is down, weekly is balanced. They just stretched it, and the daily is balanced. So there are no time frames up yet on the NASDAQ. They can make that happen next week rather easily. We'll see. Now SPY and ES. Monthly is down. Some people might argue with me on that, but we took out last month's low by a pretty good margin, okay, by $9. So if they really want to prove to me they're back in balance, October high should be taken out in November fairly easily. So balance on the monthly. But look at this. From COVID lows, remember that trend line? Look where we closed so far. Now, I'm not saying that's an all clear signal, but at least we got back above this trend line for now. So the monthly is down still. Weekly, clearly up. This was my balance on the weekly last 3 weeks ago. Some people might have used this week. If you're using that week, then we just stretch the balance. I'm not using that week. I'm using this week. It's subjective. I thought we came out of a 4-week balance this week. I'm calling the weekly up. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. So the weekly is up for me in SPY and ES. And the daily is up. We didn't take out yesterday's low. We had a 3-day balance coming into today, and it's up. That's how I'm looking at it. So the monthly is down. The weekly is up. The daily is up. Some people might just call this a 4-day balance. Again, it's an art. It's not a science. Now, before we wrap up, I know this is long, but hopefully this is going to help you guys and gals. What's important? We just shrugged off some pretty weak tech earnings, except for Apple, and we closed at the week's high. We have the Fed Wednesday, and then a week from Tuesday, we have the midterm. I think the market is really starting to price in Republicans taking control, where we're going to have gridlock in Washington, which the market likes. So, what happens now with the Fed, which is expected to raise 75 on Wednesday, and then maybe lean down and soften their stance to 50 in December? I certainly don't expect them to do a surprise 50 like the Bank of Canada did. I do not expect that. So if they go 75, and then in the press conference, he's sensing a possible 50 in December, the market should be very happy with that. But again, a lot of this might be built in. So the election might be starting to get built in, and what the Fed is looking to do. So do we continue with the lower highs, right? This high is 431.73. This high is 411.73. So we can still go higher pre-Fed and not take out a lower high. And if we do that, then the big thing is what happens on November 9th after the Fed is done and the election is done. If we can't take out this high, do we roll over again? I think we should have an idea by November 9th if the lows of the year are in. Okay? I don't know if they're in yet. We've seen this picture all year, lower highs, except, right, we had 2 months where we went high and then rolled over to new lows. The higher we go, though, on this move, the harder it will be to make lower lows. Do you realize we've rallied in 3 weeks from 348 to 390? $42 we've rallied in 3 weeks. So don't think we can't make lower lows on the year. We just went $42 in 3 weeks. We have the Fed twice and the midterms. On the flip side, what's to say we can't go another 40 to the upside and take out this 411? What is it? 411? 412. 412 high. It's only $22 away. If we do that, we'll break the lower high syndrome that we had, just like we did in this period. Then the lows would officially, I think, be in for the year. But I can't say it just yet. It should be a fun last 2 months of this year, though. It's been a fun year, I can tell you that much. You know, our volume today is now at 98 million. So we're going to do over average. So finally, on a day where we're up 2.5%, we have a good volume day. I hope all this helps. Come check us out, please, at camelbacktrading.org. I'm seriously considering going to $40 a month starting in January. Right now, if you join for $30, it will always be $30. Just like whoever signed up for $20 is always $20 for the life of their membership. I think we offer a very, very valuable service for a great price. Please tell your friends, family, and coworkers about us. Please hit the like button on these videos. That's all I ask. I appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend. Rest up. And we'll speak prior to the opening on